paper, scissors.
And in addition to our Belt It Out music, our other writer, Heather, has written a piece on bands who should be accepted into the Scottish Music Hall of Fame. You should definitely check that out. You can leave comments suggesting who you think should be part of the Scottish Music Hall of Fame, and you can join in the Twitter debate.
3 bands.
Oh yeah, you have to choose 3 bands who you would put in the Scottish Music Hall of
Bands,
Fame.
artists, anyone with a tenuous link to Scotland or Scottish culture, you could probably say My Hall of Fame 2013. Just follow the hashtag, and then give us your choices, and you will remember ones. You will remember.
Don't forget, guys, that hashtag is hashtag MyHof2013. So that's MyHOF 2013.
That's the official hashtag of the Scottish Music Hall of Fame. Annie Lennox seems to be a hot tip from our readers at the moment.
I'm going to throw this one out there just because I don't think anyone had mentioned this, but is anyone familiar with a song? In fact, I'm pretty sure it's Big Country by Big Country.
Yes.
Yes. I don't even know if these guys are Scottish.
They are Scottish.
They are Scottish.
They're from Dunfermline.
Oh, well, I'm throwing it in because they use, and I just found this out the other day, it's not actually bagpipes they use in the song. It sounds like a bagpipe solo. It was actually an effect on the guitar. Mm-hmm. So he's just playing a guitar solo, but the effect was a bagpipe effect.
I saw them in Dunfermline last year.
Did you?
Yeah, they...
in the Kingdom?
Yeah, in the Kingdom of Fife. No, they used to have, their front man was Stuart Adamson, and he was a massive Dunfermline Athletic supporter, so therefore the band Big Country became associated with Dunfermline Athletic quite strongly. The music, like Big Country, Fields on Fire, are quite associated, but then he died far too young. He's a rock and roll lifestyle, have that of what you will. But now they're still going. There's a few changes from the original lineup, but they're still rocking out. And yeah, Big Country, definitely a good shout for the Hall of Fame.
Other songs with bagpipe solos, can we think of any?
Yes. Long Way to the Top, AC/DC. And
the Battle of Hampton Roads, the last track of the Titus Andronicus album, The Monitor, is 14 minutes long, and that's got a 2-minute bagpipe solo in the middle.
I did not know that. Also, You're the Voice by John Farnham. Don't know if anyone is familiar with him. He's actually an Australian pop kind of icon. Bit of an 80s star. He is a legend. Big Johnny. We call him The Voice back in Australia.
But now that's just a TV show.
Yeah. Although, the irony was never lost to me. What if someone actually entered the show, The Voice, and when they got to the stage and, you get asked, what song are you singing for us tonight, they sing The Voice. So do they technically do they win the show?
It's like searching Google. It's like dividing by zero.
As
world just melts.
As Tuomo would say, does not compute.
Right. Do you want to kick off with the films, or do you want me to go to sport?
Up to you, mate. Let's.
By the way, this is already 14 minutes long.
I'm going to be cutting
there's going to be a lot of that. We'll do the film stuff because there's.
Okay. Films. What's happening in the film world?
Right, well, out this week has been, probably the 2 big ones is Thor 2. Is it Thor the Underworld? Or
The Dark World?
The Dark World, something
like
that.
This is probably something that should have been done in the research, but as you can tell, this is our first podcast. So.
Listen, guys, just go and search Thor 2. I'm sure you'll find it. And Johnny Knoxville's Bad Grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
Which does look delightful.
I read a 4-star review of that film the other day. I couldn't quite believe my eyes.
I think Roger Ebert gave it 2 or 3 stars as well. So if Roger Ebert's given it a 2 or 3 star review, it must be a pretty good film.
But he's dead?
Roger Ebert
died a few months ago?
No, he's reviewed this film.
Maybe it came out in America earlier than it did here then.
Yeah.
Or he came back from the grave for one last review.
For Halloween.
It's not too recent, but guys, just a quick one. Has anyone seen Filth, and if so, what did we think?
I did see Filth. Throughout it, I was constantly trying to figure out which bits of it were filmed in Stirling, because when it was being filmed in Stirling, I think I walked past and I caught a glimpse of him. It was up near City Walls.
I think just from
I couldn't figure out where any of it was.
From the few clips I've watched and from the bits of the book I read, I get the feeling it's kind of makes you feel dirty while you're watching it, but you also quite enjoy it.
Very much so.
Yeah. I got to be honest, I didn't enjoy it. I mean, overall, I thought it was okay, you know, and the characters I thought there was funny scenes, but, you know, ultimately, and from voices not too far away from here, we get told constantly, you know, what is a story, and a good story has a beginning, middle, and end, and I don't feel the movie, and I've not read the book, so apologies, put my hand up to
I think it's a
all
hard
you book
adaptation.
purists out there.
It's a very
But,
hard adaptation.
Yeah, big time. I would totally agree with that. But for people who have read the book, the one thing they told me is that it really didn't translate well on the big screen. And having only watched the movie, I kind of felt that anyway.
That said, I think it's a fantastic central performance from James McAvoy.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think he was amazing. You watch that and you think,
You wouldn't think
was he really Mr. Tumnus in
you
The Lion, the
wouldn't
Witch,
really
and the
think.
Wardrobe? It's difficult to believe.
Exactly what I was going to point out is that James McAvoy doesn't exactly scream sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, racist, beer drinking, drug taking cop from Edinburgh.
It's not quite in the same ilk, but it's similar to Matt Damon before he did the Bourne stuff. And I think there was a lot of people skeptical going, oh, Matt Damon's not that kind of guy. And then he did it, and he did it well, and you thought, actually, maybe he's that kind of guy. And I would say the same with McAvoy.
I think the best thing about the fact the film came out is the film came out pretty much exactly the same time as Sunshine on Leith, and it's two-story, and it's almost like you could release it as a double feature, like kind of like Light and Dark of Edinburgh, because you've got Filth coming out, which is like the grimy underworld, and you've got Sunshine on Leith, which is like this happy, everyone's singing randomly, and neither of them are true reflection of Edinburgh, but they're both kind of entertaining in their own way.
Definitely.
It's sport.
Yeah.
I shall just get into what's happening in sports now. So Celtic Park was today named by the SFA as a venue for this year's Scottish Cup final. Ibrox Stadium of Rangers, of course, will stage both of the semi-finals. This because Hampden's unavailable because there's redevelopment work taking place ahead of next summer's Commonwealth Games, which are, of course, in Glasgow. So that's the reason for that. David Beckham has decided to set up his own football team in the MLS. That will be in Miami. He'll buy the new franchise from the MLS for a discounted disaster. He'll buy the franchise from the MLS for a discounted $25 million. That's part of the deal that saw him join LA Galaxy back in 2007. And Scotland won their opening game of the Rugby League World Cup last night. It was a late try from Matthew Russell in Workington. And their next game is against Italy on Sunday. So is there any other sports stories last few days, just quickly, guys, that have took your eye, that have interested you?
Well, just quickly on the rugby league stuff. Guys, we're not really a betting site, but I'm telling you right now, go and put a mortgage on Australia to win the Rugby League World Cup. There's this big debate about the UK Super League versus the NRL, which is the NRL is the big Australian rugby league competition. I've seen both. I'm Australian, so this will sound,
biased.
Like biased, but hand on heart, the Australian League honestly is.
How confident are you, Andrew?
I'm very confident.
How much are you willing to show how confident you are?
Well, what would you like me to show? Just to prove my point on this, the best players in the English League, who get more money, I should point out, the English Super League pays a lot more than what the Australian Rugby League does. The best players in the English game that can earn a better living in England are leaving to go to Australia in their prime. So this is their best earning years because they would rather play in a stronger league, and that is a fact.
So what we're going to do is, if Australia, as you say as a certainty, do win the Rugby League World Cup, we're going to give you a coronation and we're going to play triumphant music while you are shown to be a Nostradamus of sorts and a rugby league expert. And if, as is expected and as fates will have it, Australia don't win the Rugby League World Cup, you will be forced to give a humiliating apology to all of our listeners and the rest
Do
of the
you think you
group.
should have to sing the British national anthem?
I think that's a good idea. I think you've got a choice here. You've got... What have we got? Matilda? We're going to go for Matilda?
Well, that's not our...
Yeah,
but that is... For
but Matilda or...
Waltzing Matilda is... That should be our national anthem.
Yeah, so we'll go Waltzing Matilda. If you're right, we'll play it on the show. And if you're wrong, we'll maybe play God Save the Queen. subject to editorial approval.
For the record, I am happy to go ahead with this. However, if and when Australia do win, there will be some serious gloating going on. So come on, boys, don't let me down.
Okay, anything else?
So the big news coming out of world football, and especially in a World Cup year, and this has really got my back up to no end. That is the Brazilian born and raised and only left the country when he was a full-grown adult at 18, Diego Costa, has pledged his international allegiance to Spain. The quick story on this is that he's played in Spain now for 5 years.
With Atletico Madrid.
With Atletico Madrid. He's had a couple of loan spells in between. He has finally established himself after a few years of potential and what if. And he's now become one of the hottest prospects in world football at the moment. And as he had never represented Brazil in senior level at a competitive match, he has 2 caps, but only in friendlies, which don't count in terms of your pledging your allegiance. So that came into question. Spain threw their hat into the ring, floated at him and said it makes sense, and he has now gone ahead and pledged to Spain. That I couldn't disagree more with, and it's a bone of contention all around the world at the moment in terms of players being able to pick and choose their country, essentially, and I couldn't disagree more with that.
That's pretty much it from us, guys. As we've been mentioned many times before, if there's anything we've not discussed that you'd like to discuss more, if there's a problem with anything about the site, if there's a problem with some of the stuff we're talking about, stuff you'd like to see, something you'd like to change, feel free to contact us, and Andrew will run through that right now.
Yeah, once again, guys, find us on Facebook. We are The Belt. Email us. It's thebeltjournalism@gmail.com. Get us on Twitter @TheBeltSays and use the appropriate hashtags. #BelowTheBelt, #BeltedOut, #BuckleUp, #KnockOnWood. And of course, if you're involved in the My Hall of Fame inductions, and remember it's 3 choices, the appropriate hashtag there is #MyHOF2013. And of course, links from all of those back to the website as well.
Okay, it's bye from me, Paul.
It's all from me, Tuamo.
Bye from me, Stephen.
And it's a goodbye from me, Andrew, and Heather sends her well wishes from Ann Summers as well.